When we buy something online, we read reviews, because when we search for, say, phone cases, we get thousands of results to choose from. Whether we're looking for the most authentic Japanese restaurant or for an efficient juicer, we can read endless reviews to help us make the right choice. So we crave certainty, and somehow we started applying this mentality to our romantic lives. I'm Dr. Ana Costa, I'm a clinical psychologist, and today we're talking about ACT applied to a little known phenomenon called the paradox of choice.
Don't you wanna have fun? Fool around with someone? Don't you wanna have fun? Never mind my dumb heart, it needs a little kickstart. 'Cause don't you wanna have fun? Don't you wanna have some fun?
Sometimes we don't base our decision of choosing a partner on our values. We tend to base our decision of choosing a partner on short-term attraction. But just as we believe that reading another Google review will take us closer to the perfect purchase, we also started believing that by scrolling through hundreds of options on our phones, we'll get closer to the right partner. And what's the impact of that? Well, we engage in endless scrollings and perhaps go on loads of dates, but we start feeling frustrated and feeling that dating is like a full-time job. And if we hook up with someone, we keep the niggling doubt about whether this is the right person, or whether there would be someone out there that would be better for us, or with whom we would feel happier. So sometimes we feel unable to commit to someone due to this constant uncertainty of whether there would be someone better for us, and this makes it more difficult to sustain a long-term relationship. And what makes it worse or more difficult is that we beat ourselves up, and sometimes we end up negatively comparing ourselves to others, our friends, people we see on social media. We feel unable to commit to someone due to the constant uncertainty of whether there would be someone better for us, and this makes it more difficult to maintain a long-term relationship. And what makes it even worse is we beat ourselves up and negatively compare ourselves with others. Then, of course, there's social media, leading us to believe that everyone is in healthier or happier relationships than we are. So we compare ourselves with others online, and we feel like the grass is always greener on the other side, and we end up feeling like we're missing out. In doing so, we end up beating ourselves up and putting ourselves down. So what's the solution? Well, let me introduce you to acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, because as therapists love our acronyms. So ACT is a therapy that helps you develop psychological skills to accept what's out of your control and to take action within what is your control. So it helps you to clarify what's truly meaningful and important to you, your values, and then to take action, effective action, that improves your life. And this is action in line with your values. So let's go back to some of the problems presented in online dating and see how ACT can help you better navigate the dating world with these 3 tips. So first one, connect with your values. We tend to choose who we date, or sometimes we choose who we date based on how physically attractive we find them. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. You want to feel attracted to your date. However, sometimes we're on such a high from that physical attraction chemistry that we neglect to connect with our values and to explore the other person's values. And by values, what I mean is what is important deep in your heart, and what you want to do, not just how you want to feel. You probably just want to feel happy. Perhaps grab a pen and paper and just answer the following questions. What sort of personal qualities do you want to bring into play into your date? And what character strengths do you wish to use or to develop? And how do you want to behave or act as you go on dates? So suppose I ask your date at the end of the date to describe a few things that they most appreciated about you. In an ideal world, what would you like them to say about you? So having more clarity about your own values and then turning them into action is a big component of the ACT model, and one that you can apply to dating. After all, you need to be true to yourself so that you can match with like-minded people. Tip number 2, get comfortable with uncertainty. So there is a wide range of choice of potential partners, and we feel overwhelmed by it. It's the paradox of choice. We may also feel frustrated by going on lots of dates, and we may have doubts about the right partner, the right date. Whatever it is that you're feeling or thinking, I invite you to just silently and kindly acknowledge whatever is showing up inside you. Any thoughts or feelings or sensations or urges, including the feeling of uncertainty. So take the stance of like a curious scientist, just observing what's going on in your own inner world. And as you do this, often it's helpful to put these experiences into words and just silently say to yourself something like, I'm noticing a sense of uncertainty, or here's anxiety, or there's my mind worrying, or I'm having the thought that this is really difficult, or I'm having an urge to just give up. So putting your internal experiences into words can be extremely helpful and self-validating. After all, there is a degree of uncertainty in dating, because you can only control your own behavior, not the other person's behavior. So those uncomfortable feelings you're having are probably just a normal reaction. Tip number 3, get unstuck from your own thoughts. So I mentioned before that we often engage in negative thoughts and comparisons with others. So notice how you feel when that happens. I bet your behavior changes when you get hooked by those negative comparisons or thoughts. And if so, how did it change? So letting go of unhelpful thoughts is an extremely helpful tool in life, and particularly while navigating the online dating world. So let me teach you a brief but effective skill you can use at any time. First of all, close your eyes, and I invite you to bring to your mind a negative judgment. Could be something like, I'm not good enough. There are loads of variations on this. No one likes me, I'm not competent enough, slim enough, muscular enough, witty enough. Fill in the gaps of what resonates most for you. So now I want you to really believe in it as much as you possibly can for about 10 seconds, and just notice how you feel when you do that. Now I invite you to replay the thought, either silently or out loud, but this time with the little phrase in front of it. I'm having the thought that... So now replay it one more time, but this time adding the phrase, I notice I'm having the thought that... So open your eyes, and now think about it. Did you notice a sense of separation or distance from the thought? If not, just run through the exercise again. Perhaps try to with a different thought or a different negative judgment. If you've had negative experiences in dating, perhaps you can repeat the exercise with another thought. Say, for example, dating is too hard, I can't do it. So I'm noticing the thought that dating is too hard. So with enough practice and enough repetition, you will be able to reduce the impact of these unhelpful thoughts in how you feel, and most importantly, in how you behave, so you can take effective action in line with the life you want to have. I hope this gave you a little taster of some of the ACT tools you can learn in your life that you can easily apply when navigating the dating world. For the next episode in the series, click here, or to sign up for one of our courses, click the link in the description below.